If you've been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, also known as manic depression, and it's affecting your life in adverse ways, then pay very close attention to what you're about to hear because it may prove to be the solution that you've been looking for. See, what most people don't realize about bipolar disorder is that it's not just genetic. While there is a genetic component to it, if you have it, you are not doomed. You don't have to be on medication for the rest of your life. And an important thing to know is that sticking to medications for the rest of your life is not a permanent solution. Bipolar disorder doesn't just go away with medication. Medicines might suppress it for the time being, but it waits underneath the surface for a trigger to come out. Research states that bipolar disorder isn't fully understood by doctors. Not the cause, not the symptoms, and certainly not the treatment. The fact is, unless you've personally gone through bipolar disorder, it's tough to relate to, and it can feel pretty lonely. I mean, how can someone understand it if they themselves haven't experienced the extreme highs and lows where one moment in life can feel like a smooth ride, where you can do and accomplish anything, while the next is dark and everything's so tough and confusing? The emotional tolls and instability in your behavior that constant ups and downs can bring. People not trusting you because you seem ungrounded and your unpredictable behavior slowly pushes them out of your life. The lack of satisfying relationships in your life causing you to feel lonely and like there's something wrong with you. The rapid weight changes or disrupted sleep patterns causing you to be inconsistent in your work performance and being passed over for work promotions. It can feel pretty lonely because there's hardly anyone who can relate to it. See, the thing that most people don't understand about bipolar disorder and what keeps it going is that there is a thinking pattern involved to it. And unless you understand the thinking pattern, the emotions underneath the surface that are waiting to bubble up to the surface and unleash their wrath, it's next to impossible to stop it. But the good news is that once you understand your patterns and take the time to work through them in a systemic manner, which I'll talk about in just a moment, you can become much more stable and break free from the patterns that keep your extreme behavior going. It's about understanding those patterns enough to be able to change them and the neurochemistry of your brain. Doesn't happen overnight, but it certainly can happen. The key to doing that is realizing that, 1, there is nothing wrong with you. It's just your emotions being fired incorrectly. And 2, there are steps you can take to retrain your brain to respond in different ways. It takes a little effort and thinking in the right direction. I worked with Sarah for a total of 6 months in 2016. Sarah began losing friends and family because of how frequent and drastic her mood changes had started to become. Sarah's own children even stopped wanting to spend time with their own mother due to the severity of her bipolar disorder. Sarah came into a solution at the perfect time, at her lowest point in life. I had become desperate to help her find a solution after seeing how destructive this mental illness had affected Sarah's world. It took longer to help Sarah because she wasn't willing to help herself at first. But once she started making progress with my last technique, she started to make peace with the people in her life. And if it worked for someone like Sarah, it sure can work for you. The question is, are you willing to try it? Here's what this is all about. There are 7 key things that you need to understand in order to be able to work through your bipolar disorder and lead a normal and stable life. I've discovered these 7 secrets through great research and trying it with people I've worked with. I've compiled these 7 secrets in a digital workbook called the Bipolar Disorder Workbook. And if you work through them for 30 minutes on a daily basis, you will make giant strides towards overcoming your bipolar disorder. Strides that would take you years and years of medication and therapy if you take the conventional route. With these 7 secrets, you can make the same amount of progress in 30 days and achieve better, much better results. The reason being simple. You're getting to the root of the disorder and not just merely treating the symptoms and suppressing them with SSRIs or antipsychotic medication. It's insanely simple, and it involves working with yourself rather than against yourself, which is what conventional methods do, and doing it the right way. If you're willing to do that, it's just a matter of time that your bipolar disorder completely dissolves. The digital workbook is priced at $19.99, which, come to think of it, is merely a fraction of the cost it would take for you to go down the therapy route. In fact, it's less than half the cost of one session with a therapist. And if you really want to accelerate your progress, you have the option to get your own personal calendar tracker. So you can track your progress and stay on the path and be consistent, which can be pretty difficult with bipolar disorder. The combination of those two, the 7 secrets that I reveal in the workbook, along with your tracker to keep you on the path, is powerful. It will work if you make it work. The question is, are you willing to try it? Have you suffered enough in your personal life, your social life, and your professional life to give it a shot? If you do want to break free from your bipolar disorder, click the button below to get started.